Welcome back to my little channel. Today's video is rather impromptu, I have to admit. I didn't want to go into this, but my lovely girl made a very good point and I thought, you know what, I'm going to make this into a small rant. Everyone by now, or everyone that is within what is considered to be the skeptic community, I hate that term so I'm not going to use it again, heard about the little spat between Sargon of Akkad and Thunderfoot. They got into a little spat because Russian Deadpool killed one of the people he lived with, and Sargon of Akkad was on a stream with Krauten, Tree, Louis and V, and they cracked some jokes. Now, in the video Sargon made to explain himself, he also showed that Thunderfoot took certain jokes out of context. But I'm going to ignore that, because that doesn't matter. Yes, they were taken out of context, but the problem isn't that they were taken out of context. The problem is that Thunderfoot is basically telling people you're not allowed to make certain jokes. And with that, censorship starts. Now don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of Thunderfoot, I'm a huge fan of Sargon of Akkad, I'm subscribed to both of them and I will stay so, because they've said things in the past that I don't completely agree with either. That's okay, we're all individuals. But it is scary to me that Thunderfoot thinks it's okay to tell people that certain jokes are not to be made because certain jokes were made to him. And you know what? I wouldn't compare those two. First off, because Russian Deadpool claimed to be an epitome of righteousness, which, in all fairness, no one is, not even, well, anyone else, so obviously not Thunderfoot and Sargon, and definitely not me, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, you recognize that certain jokes were made and you don't like them, therefore they have to stop it. Therefore you don't feel part of this community anymore. Again, I'm sorry I used the word because it's bullshit. We are not a community. There are no meetings, there's no meet and greet. We don't adjust our opinions based on what someone else thinks. Now, Thunderfoot, I can understand that you don't like the jokes V and Kraut. And, well, Sargon didn't really make a joke, apparently. But I can understand you don't like these jokes. Don't laugh at them. Don't repeat them. Don't make them yourself. But don't tell people you're not allowed to say something, because then we're getting into the censorship of things. And I understand you made 2 videos about how hard it hit you, so I understand that this is a serious thing to you. But why are you letting it affect you in the way it does? And why are you attacking Sargon over it? First off, he didn't really make the jokes. Okay, yeah, he laughed at them, but he didn't really make the jokes. And if you listen to Sargon's explanation of how it went, he didn't even laugh at the jokes. He was laughing at something else. And it doesn't even make a difference whether he laughed at the jokes or not. It wouldn't have made a difference if he would have made the jokes. He is a free person and he has the right to make whatever joke he wants. It's not up to you to be offended for someone else. You might not like it. Fair enough. Don't laugh. It's the same thing with, well, just about any joke you can talk about. Talk about jokes of terrorism attacks. We make jokes about them. 9/11 jokes are now common, apparently. Is it funny? Well, the jokes are. 9/11 wasn't. Are the jokes funny that Deadpool killed his girlfriend? Well, it's not funny that he killed his girlfriend. But the jokes are. Humor is a way of coping. Telling people you're not allowed to make certain jokes is a dangerous thing to do because it's the first step into censorship. Well, you didn't really say they weren't allowed to do it. No, you said, if you do that, I want nothing to do with you. Which is your good right, don't get me wrong. But the way you did it makes it sound as if they did something wrong and they need to repent. Thunderfoot, seriously, I have a great deal of respect for you, but you're wrong on this. You do not have to agree with the jokes they made. I know I don't agree with the jokes they make. Even though I think Russian Deadpool is indeed, well, a bastard for what he's done, and the excuse of PTSD is beyond stupidity. I mean, I understand that there are people who actually believe that crap, but no, this was not PTSD. Or it could have been psychosomatic drugs creating hallucinations in which he killed her, but still, that's not PTSD. Stop with telling each other how to think. Now, I know Thunderfoot made a video, Sargon made a response, Thunderfoot made a response, Sargon made a response. You know what? Go ahead. Continue to make responses to each other. I don't really mind. But be careful of what you're asking of each other. And in all fairness, I have to admit that Sargon is actually being the polite one, even though his second video wasn't as nice. But the point remains. If you tell people what they cannot say, you're talking about censorship. You're asking them to censor themselves. Thunderfoot, are you realizing this? This is not a question on whether the jokes are correct or whether they are polite. This is what are you doing with them. And you're telling them you're not to make this joke. That's not the steps you're supposed to take, mate. Those are not the steps I saw you take in the past. And I really hope that they will not be the steps you will take in the future. Anyway, this is my little rant, as if Sargon and Thunderfoot will ever see this. But hey, I know I can be optimistic too. Let me know down in the comments what you think of it. Like, share, subscribe if you feel so inclined. And criticism is always more than welcome. See you all next time.